Hello there, and welcome to this week's media news with me, Gareth O'Connor. So the big news of last week, of course, 1 billion active users. Hats off to you, Facebook. That equals 140 billion friends, 140 billion connections, which looks kind of like this beautiful image here. I guess the big thing for Facebook now is breaking into other markets. So I guess, I know Russia will probably be high on that list. Probably more likely than China. But certainly, huge numbers. I guess the other thing for them, 600 million of those people are active on mobile. But of course, from a Facebook point of view, it's all about how they can monetize the site more now. One way, which I've just started testing in the States, is they've just launched a gift service, which basically means folks can buy and send gifts and send them to friends without actually leaving the site. The only problem with this that I've seen so far is that everything that you send is like branded Facebook. It's like Facebook wrapping, Facebook bags, Facebook stickers, Facebook. So it's no matter where you buy it from, it comes all wrapped in Facebook branding, which is, I guess, not ideal. But Facebook have said every day millions of people share special moments with their friends on Facebook by saying, "Happy birthday, congratulations," or simply, "I'm thinking of you." Now here's another way to celebrate those moments. Yes, indeed. And even more Facebook news, they've actually recently just come out and said they're just like television. By that I mean it's not all about the click. Facebook, of course, is a wonderful tool for branding, which I guess, in part is true, particularly if you've got content to show. It is a good way of branding. And I guess it's also fair to say that from a digital, actually not just Facebook, but all digital, you may well see a banner, understand what's in the banner, not click on the banner, but then still go and buy whatever it was that was advertised on said banner, which of course will happen a lot, and of course digital will lose a lot of its reported return on investment because of those sorts of things. But I guess Facebook are going to trying to show this in more light. They're seeking to prove the connection between what people see on site and purchases made within stores, and they've just teamed up with a company called Data Logics. And they basically are sharing data, so they're tracking data between users, what they're doing on Facebook and what they're doing off Facebook. So what they're doing is they're creating these things called hashes, and basically that is an account or a user profile, and all of the activity that user is doing is fed into the profiles. So what happens on site, what they click on, what they look at, what websites they go to off-site, and then they can start to track what they see on Facebook, the journey after Facebook, where they go. Do they then go to the retailer's site or a retailer's site, and then do they buy the product? We've always, I have been saying, and of course everyone's saying, that data is going to be king really for the next few years outside of content and data. But it's making use of that data, and of course this is a great way for Facebook to show and demonstrate that what happens on Facebook is affecting activity off-site. So they've been tracking 50 campaigns so far, and they found that for every dollar spent on Facebook, $3 are made off Facebook. If that is indeed the case, then that is a pretty fantastic return on investment. Whether those 50 campaigns were done in isolation or not, I'm not entirely sure, but certainly it's a good case for using Facebook. I know there's other cases against Facebook, but it's a pretty good one for. They're also changing the algorithm, or they've changed their algorithm on Thursday, 20th of September, and this really is just to strengthen the importance of user engagement. Excuse me, which makes perfect sense, right? So the more people, their algorithm, of course, EdgeRank, the more people interact, comment, share, view, post, the more they will appear in people's news feeds. Of course, pretty much everything is about the news feed when it comes to Facebook. And when you think brands, when you post something, it only appears on probably 16% of your fans' news feeds, unless of course you use, reach generator, which of course you can. But of course, it's a simple thing, right? You want to make content that's worth sharing, worth commenting on. You want to make content that's remarkable. Stands to reason, right? Fans equal money for musicians anyway. This is kind of interesting. RDO, which is a music service, a digital music service, very much like Spotify. They have they've just come up with a new way really of getting more fans. So musicians, basically, if you get one of your fans to like you and sign up for audio, they will give the musician $10. Kind of amazing, really. Because when you think from a music's point of view, say for instance you are Snoop or Lady Gaga or any musician, if you make some exclusive content that's only available on audio, so your fans have got to go there, like that, sign up for audio to get the content, then not only do you sell the content, but you make $10 for every person. Quite something, but I guess a new way of building a fan base, right? CW create a first. Yep, a live Twitter feed within a magazine. I don't think it's something that's going to take off and see loads of people doing this, because I imagine the cost of this was very high, but hey, it's a first. They've used a 3G device that's embedded a screen which is embedded into the magazine, and it's a live Twitter feed. Interesting. Gucci also does a first. Here's a banner. Can you see what it is? First time I've seen anyone do it anyway, but yep, you look at the bottom left-hand corner, it's a pinnable banner. Which I guess is a good thing, right? Because Pinterest is all about pinning things that are of interest to you. Fashion ads in particular, or any branded ad really, but it's a good way of spreading and getting deeper engagement with consumers, because they're going to like something that they see in your banner and then spread that because they're going to show their friends that they've just liked that and just pinned it. So another good way of spreading the word. Starbucks tries something new. Whew, must be the week for new things. And it's a little more around small storefronts, and I can see this increasing for a few reasons. The storefront itself is just a small bit there in the middle, or at the end here. The other bit is just a long wooden bit where you can put signage. That's kind of the size of the shop. But of course for them it's trying to reduce diminishing returns on having lots of big stores. They just want small stores, people can walk by, grab the coffee and off they go. But in a way it's kind of a good thing for small businesses also, because if you're a retailer, online retailer, but you want to try and broaden your reach a little bit and get out into the real world a bit more, I can see malls starting to sell small shop fronts so that you can position your brand within a retail environment where people are actively shopping. And in there you could just have some digital screens, some iPads, so that your inventory and what you sell can be on the screens, people can scroll through it, and people, if they wanted to, can buy directly from there with their mobile, with a tablet. But it's a good way of getting small businesses out into the real world. Just a thought. Here's a nice idea, well done to Flybys. Their current campaign, every time you swipe, something good happens. Well, they've done some fun things with ad shells. And when this one here, of course, is when you swipe your card, you get given a sweet, a lolly, which is grand. And then here's another one. And who doesn't love bubbles? But it's a nice idea, good extension of TV ad, but just a nice idea of doing something different. I like it. New Australian researchers found that tablet ownership has doubled in the last 12 months. Doubled. They also found that 76% of respondents owned a smartphone. That's an increase of from 67% last year. 76% of people own a smartphone. They think now the marketplace in Australia is around a 65% mark. So of course the people that interviewed are slightly higher. But some of the times, you know, smartphone ownership by the end of this year in NZ will probably be over 50, I reckon. 40% of those who don't own a smartphone are planning on buying one in the next 12 months. Pretty high. 69% of them have installed apps on their mobile telephone, compared to 55% in 2011, 41% in 2010. So nearly 70% of people now have apps and are using apps daily. And another good thing, acceptance of advertising has jumped from 47% to 57%, and an overall engagement of 54%. So it's a really good channel. When you think smartphones now, I mean, granted it's becoming more common for everyone, but it's certainly, you know, normally in NZ it's probably still people with slightly higher disposable income. More money to do more shopping. So if you're not thinking of mobile, start thinking about it. And mobile advertising works. Here's some facts. Certainly worth thinking about. CanStar Blue did some research looking at people who have PVRs and where they fast forward ads, and they found that 31% of people do fast forward ads. I know it's a small percentage of overall TV viewing it's fast forwarded, but I know Nielsen research here had it around 5%. I think it's probably higher myself. But they surveyed 587 people across a range of demos, and their key findings were 77% avoid watching TV advertisements. 31% of MySky TV shows are fast forwarded. They fast forward ads. It's quite a bit. 19% watch more content online than they do on television. 24% of Gen Yers use their TVs more for gaming. And the number of households with 3 or more TVs is past the 40% mark. We know now that more people are watching more content. It's just spread across more channels. More TV channels and then more online channels. But it is getting to the point now where advertisers have to start to think about, where they're going to reach people off television, or start producing content that's more engaging that people actually want to watch rather than doing lots of rather poor ads that nobody really wants to watch. Because it is getting, granted television is still the daddy when it comes to driving brand awareness, but it is just, the graphs are all starting to show that ad avoidance is increasing, ad recall is diminishing, ratings are diminishing. So it's definitely getting harder. Just something to think about. It's definitely getting harder to reach people and engage people within a TV environment. And then, of course, you've got all the horrendous retail ads that are on TV, that when you actually do have a nice ad, it's sandwiched between a lot of dross, which again makes it harder. But just things all worth thinking about. 87% of people, though, are ready for digital switchover. So that's good news. Interbrands annual look at the best brands are out. Go to Google, type in Interbrands 2012 top brands. The document is certainly worth a read. Coca-Cola top the charts, followed by Apple, who was the biggest riser, then followed by IBM. And then these are the other brands that took out the top 15 spots. But like I say, go and have a look. Are you in there? And the award for best performing cloud goes to...
The cloud came from the sea. He was not like other clouds. The wind could not command him. The more he saw, the more he did. And the more he did, the more he became. You see, he wasn't just a cloud. He was a cloud made of more.
Yes, indeed. And made it more of something that would take in right the way through. Like these very nice print executions demonstrate. Some are made of more. Very nice. And here's another one. Yes, I like it. Hats off to Guinness for that. Audi have done a little bit of fun. You can test drive an Audi from an iPad, don't you know? In the States anyway, they've come up with this thing. They've commissioned the track builders from Slot Mods USA to build a custom course. This is kind of like ski electrics, if you will. They've made little Audi cars so that fans can drive the new Quattro in Slot from the iPad controller. Bit of fun, right? Look, here's some in footage. It does look kind of cool. But it's quirky little things like this, doing things that are a little bit different. And Audi do a lot in the tech space. It's pretty cool. This is just a bit of fun. But I like it. It's always nice to do things a little bit different. The ad where the viewer can decide. This is something Mercedes-Benz have done. I guess, again, kind of a new thing. Here's the first ad. This is for their A-Class, which is, I guess, targeted in the UK to a younger demo, probably 25 to 34-year-olds. But this is the first ad that they ran within X Factor. So, trying to get viewer involvement. And basically they've asked viewers, they've made an ad, they've asked viewers what's going to happen next, they've asked them to decide what happens next. I believe the story is fallen a musician has to get to a gig, but the authorities are involved. So then the viewers decide, then they're going to make another ad, play that, and then of course I think they're going to ask people to decide again, then they're going to make another ad. It would be a bugger to get through the client, I would imagine, but hey, they've gone with it, and there's obviously you drive, you can go and watch the trailer, and then of course through Twitter you can decide what you want to do. Many people have. But it's a nice idea of getting consumers involved, bringing them along for the ride. Good way of getting consumers engaged, let them have a say in what happens. Amazing, really. And this is the last thing for me this week. Apologies to anyone who is easily offended by bad language, but I think this may just be the best political party video ever.
In the silvery moonlight that bathes every town, the people lie dreaming, so safe and so sound. They're warm in their beds, snuggled up in their sheets. But 4 years before, they were out in the streets. Now, it's as if they don't know what's at stake. All except one girl, wide-eyed and awake. Little Susie is too worried to sleep. She can't figure out why her family's so passive. It's like they don't know that Romney and his Veep will remake the country in ways that are drastic. She read his platform and it scared her to death. She's got to do something while there's still time left.
I was little the last time, but I still remember. My whole family was out working together. We canvassed and phone banked with passion and pluck. It matters more this time, but their eyes are shut. Mom, Dad, the election's coming up soon.
We're tired right now, hon. Go back to your room.
Sorry, my friend, but there's no time to snore. And out-of-touch millionaires just declared war. On schools, the environment, unions, fair pay. We're all on our own if Romney has his way. And he's against safety nets. If you fall, it's tough luck. So I strongly suggest that you wake the fuck up.
In '08, my brother was on the front lines. But now he says he just cannot find the time. This election's about our whole future. It's like you don't even care, man.
What?
You believe in civil rights. Well, Mitt Romney's no fan. He's okay with voter suppression. Wants gay marriage banned. He stood against the DREAM Act. And he isn't worried about the poor. If we don't do something right now, this is who we're asking for.
I hate to break it to you, sis, but all politicians are the same.
They're all the same? Big brother, please. Obama sent SEALs to bin Laden's place. Romney sent jobs overseas. And how about that student loan overhaul? It's gonna save you thousands of bucks. Mitt will cut that shit in a second. My dude, wake the fuck up.
Oh my god. It's Facebook official. Yeah, like, hey, what are you doing?
Before the last election, you girls held bake sales for Obama.
With Mitt in office, get ready for drama. A vote for Romney is a vote to let Planned Parenthood get cut.
Listen to your little sister. Wake the fuck up.
I know you're Facebooking, but wow.
Stop bullshitting. Get out there and sell some cakes and cookies. Now!
Grandpa, can we talk?
Not now, sweetie. Can it wait?
Hell no, it can't wait. Your lives will be affected. Romney and Ryan will gut Medicare if they're elected. Ask the fact checkers. Those two are fact duckers.
What do you want us to do?
Say hell no, motherfuckers! We've come a long way, but there's still more to do. And we need you all back in the fight till it's through. Of course, you're so busy and finding times rough, but you can sleep when you're dead. Right now,
What the fuck?
Indeed, and that's it for me this week. I shall see you next week.